8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. It's Twitch time. What's going on, everybody? Adam Azer with Ben Schrager and Jamey Eisenberg will be joining us in just a little bit. We're going to answer any questions you have. Not start sit. Maybe try. We can do a little start sit, but maybe waiver. What do you think? But I'm not quite ready for start sit yet. I got to do all my research. I haven't started that, so I don't want to be put on the spot.
We'll see. We'll see what the questions are, and we'll decide from there.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, fair enough. If I don't like your question or if I can't answer your question, I just won't. Looks like
forget about it.
I should probably take my glasses off. They're pretty reflective.
Can you see now?
Better? Yeah, I can see now.
I mean, you look great.
That's better. That's better. Yeah, the reflection was a little bit too much. All right, what's going on? Let's get to these questions. Hi, Andrea. Thank you very much.
What's up, Andrea?
Tonight. Should I drop Mike Kasich for Dalton Schultz or try and trade for Jonnu Smith? I have Noah Fant as well. You have every tight end. Ben, should Oledzki drop Kasich for Schultz?
Yes. In a vacuum, yes. If you knew you could easily trade Gesicki for something, go for it. But I'd rather have Schultz moving forward than Gesicki. So grab Schultz ASAP.
I'm going to tell you, if you're looking for sell high candidates, I'm a little worried about the Dolphins passing game. It's only a matter of time, I think, before Tua takes over there. So Gesicki could be one. I'm not saying Tua's going to be terrible, but Fitzpatrick,
we don't know.
Throws for a lot of, and Fitzpatrick even said he loves Devontae Parker. He's like, that's my guy. So Parker is a stud. He is showing himself to be a true stud, but I don't think he's going to be as good with Tua. So that's coming up. All right, this is from Mr. Postman 218 PPR League. I traded Gibson for Justin Jefferson because DJ Moore, Allen Robinson, Hill, Jefferson. So now he has to sit one. You're sitting Jefferson. Oh, you traded Gibson for Jefferson. What do you think about that trade, Ben? Did we lose Ben? Oh, solo project, ladies and gentlemen. I guess Ben's coming back. Jamey, are we good? It's just me? Or did we lose me? All right, here we go. I'm here. Everything's okay. I would not have traded Gibson for Jefferson, but I would sit Justin Jefferson. All right, hunting for wins. I'm picking up Rodrigo Blankenship tonight. Yes, you should. Of course, he's going to suck this week because I'm on him, but yes, you should definitely be picking up Rodrigo Blankenship. Grade the trade. Gave up Kelsey, got A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, and Will Fuller. All right, you gave up the best player if you have a starting tight end. I think this is an excellent trade. Brown and Fuller are must-start guys, we're hoping, and Lamb is a very, very useful piece who could be a must-start guy. Oh, my gosh, look at that. I got the whole Twitch screen. Ben, I don't need you. Get out of here, Ben.
All right, yep. See ya.
All right, cool. Ben's back. We'll answer some questions. You good, Ben?
All right, we're good. I'm on the cell phone. The internet is down, but we can answer questions.
All right, from Fittipides, who's the best rookie wide receiver moving forward? CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Judy, Justin Jefferson. Who's the best rookie wide receiver who has the most upside?
It's Lamb. Upside is probably Judy just based on target share, but Lamb is a wide receiver too moving forward, and Lamb is the best of that group.
All right. Should I drop T.Y. Hilton or Debo Samuel for Jimmy Graham?
No, I wouldn't.
No. From Juice Man 2427, do I drop Darrell Henderson for Dearness Johnson or Justin Jackson?
If you need someone to start this week, I'm going to have Dearness Johnson higher in my rankings than I will Darrell Henderson, but I still think Henderson is the upside play long term.
Seen a couple people say my volume is low. It's just where it normally is. I'll turn it up a little bit. Hope that's better. You can let me know in the chat. Anot 4812. Can you let me know how I did? I traded Robert Woods and Damian Williams. Really? That can't be. And I got Brandon Ayuk and Josh Kelly. Is this a dynasty trade or something? Woods and Williams for Ayuk and Kelly. It better be a dynasty trade, in which case it's probably good.
Even if it is dynasty, it's fine. I still probably prefer Woods over Ayuk long term.
All right, from WK, not reading that. I lost Nick Chubb. I have $80 in fab. How much would you spend on Dearness Johnson?
Still not more than $15.
Yeah, look, let's review, right? Every week we're getting injuries. Do you want to spend a ton of money on Dearness Johnson or Justin Jackson, or do you want to save your money? And I'm not saying you're going to hope for an injury, but you might get an injury next week, and you might want to keep that fab for someone much, much better. So yeah, don't spend too much money on these guys. And I would even put Damian Harris in that group because he had 0 catches. Don't know how long Sony Michel's going to be out. Like, I like Harris. I think
we know the counterparts in that backfield, though.
Yeah.
Like, we know James White is going to be on the field.
I think I put in like the biggest bid I put in for anybody was like $16. I don't know about you.
I'm about to put in $25 on Dearness Johnson in my 16-team league where I need a running back, but I wouldn't go any higher for anyone, really.
Okay.
And Harris and Jackson are already gone in that league.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, well, if you're in a league with Dave Richard, Damian Harris is gone. Home runners, trade away Joe Mixon and Josh Kelly for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah.
Yeah, doing it in a second.
I don't know if Edwards-Helaire is a buy low because I think people...
He probably is.
So we have the newsletter. You should all subscribe to it, cbssports.com/newsletter. It's free. It goes right to your inbox. Chris Towers compiles it every day. And he asked us all for... he asked a bunch of questions. Waiver wire priorities, who helped themselves the most in week 4, things like that. But one thing he said is, who's your top 5 if you were drafting today? So I said Zeke, Kamara, Cook. Who did I put 4th, Ben?
Zeke, Kamara, Cook.
Aaron Jones. And then I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire 5th. He's a workhorse. He's involved in the passing game. The touchdowns are going to come. I hope you all still value him as an elite player. I hope you all value Jamey as an elite analyst because Jamey's here now.
Very kind of you. Very kind of you.
Yes.
What's up, Jamey?
What's up, guys?
Is that the T-ball jersey?
It is. We are the Cubs. We are 3-0.
Hey!
Yeah.
All right.
Defense was amazing. 17-2 victory.
17-2.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty good.
We have our kids 3 games in, throwing and catching, which is unheard of in T-ball.
Good coaching. All right, Jamey, let's let the people grill you here. From B-Dubs, Jonnu Smith and Robert Tonyan are on waivers. Who do I grab?
Well, I mean, if you needed somebody for this week, then you take Jonnu because you're not going to have Tonyan. But if you're just talking about long-term, I might give Tonyan an edge. I don't know. It's hard not to look at the guy who's the best tight end in fantasy right now and say he may not continue.
He is.
Let's put it this way. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers' 2nd target, 3rd target, or Ryan Tannehill's 2nd target?
Well, Aaron Rodgers' 2nd target or Aaron Rodgers' 3rd target is a big difference, I think.
Well, I mean, Aaron Jones and Robert Tonyan, the targets, I'm going to guess, are probably going to be slightly in the favor of Tonyan.
What about MVS?
I don't know if MVS is the 2nd target. I mean, he's going to be the big play guy, but Tonyan may end up as the 2nd guy in targets by the end of the season.
All right.
Or at least until Lazard comes back.
It's just so weird, this Robert Tonyan thing. How much fab should I use from Siege1223? How much fab should I use for Bridgewater or Cousins? I have Cam and Fitzpatrick.
I probably wouldn't go crazy because I still think Fitzpatrick's going to have a good game. That's the type of player that he is. So I wouldn't go nuts for Bridgewater, but I think Bridgewater is the guy you'd want to get. Cousins, I have him ranked behind Fitzpatrick. So if you're looking at it like, who's got the higher upside, I think Cousins could have a great game, but he's not going to have a great game with 22 pass attempts or 27 pass attempts. So He's going to have his most volume of the season. And I think Fitzpatrick, what you're getting with him from a volume standpoint against the 49ers defense that just may not be that good after what they did against the Jets and the Giants.
But they also were very good against the Eagles. I mean, Carson. It's not like Carson Wentz had a big game, So
I don't know, but Carson Wentz also, like the offensive line, you would take Miami's offensive line over the Eagles' offensive line right now. You would take. All
right, but Jamey, let's say you're 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say you're 2-2 or 1-3, and you really need a win. the potential for Teddy Bridgewater is so much higher than the potential for Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. So would you spend 8% of your starting budget?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in that scenario, then absolutely you want to make sure you get the guy.
Okay.
For sure.
From Didier 49ers, can you guys talk about the correct way to use your number one waiver wire priority? When is the right time to use it?
So it doesn't reset, and you're sitting on the number one spot is what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is the week to do it unless you're completely stuck at running back and you want to take a chance on Damian Harris.
Or if one of the tight ends is available, I would say. If Schultz is out there, I'm using
Yeah, but I mean,
one.
you may have Kittle or Kelsey, so it's obviously case dependent. So I think if you're looking at it from the receivers and the running backs, like, I don't know if this is the week to do it, but like you said, Adam, somebody could be 1-3 or 2-2. How long are you going to sit on that waiver spot for until it, there is a scenario of somebody there to help you. So if you need to make the move now, then you make the move now. But it's just one of those things where who in your mind right now, both of you, who's been the best waiver ad of the season? Mike Davis?
Mike Davis, 100%. Schultz is close, though.
Could be Jared McKinnon. I mean, McKinnon's been good. Could be Dalton Schultz, for the people that picked him up already. Could be Jonnu Smith. He wasn't drafted in a lot of leagues, so there's a lot of guys.
James Robinson, too. He wasn't.
James Robinson, that's a great one. We picked up right at the start of the season, so it's a great call. Those are the type of guys you obviously want to burn your number one spot on. But the thing I think that we're looking at here is, like, Alexander Madison is around 60 some odd %. You'd like to have that opportunity to pick him up if he's available, if something happened to Dalvin Cook. If something were to happen to Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard's available, you'd like to be able to pick that type of guy up. But, how long are you going to sit there and wait until that happens? So that's the thing you just have to judge your record by.
All right, this is from MLaw51. Team name Tuesday. D'Ernest goes to camp or D'Ernest saves Christmas?
Both are very good.
Schrager has no idea, right?
I'm clueless on both of them.
Oh, the Ernest movie. I actually don't think I've ever seen an Ernest movie. Jamie, are they good?
I don't think I've ever seen one in full, but he's done a lot of commercials, so he's funny in the commercial.
All right. From, let's see, Ramids. Trade DJ. Oh, no, we didn't do this one. Should I trade DJ Moore and Josh Kelly for John Brown and Devin Singletary?
DJ Moore and Joshua Kelly for John Brown and Devin Singletary. So
I don't know. I don't think so.
At this point, the receivers are relatively even, right? The upside still favors DJ Moore, but John Brown's been good, and he's got a great quarterback playing really well. And the running backs, obviously, Singletary's better, right?
Well, you tell me. If Zach Moss is back, who would you rather have while Austin Eckler is out? Josh Kelly or Devin Singletary?
Singletary.
Okay. So
but after this week and we see Justin Jackson isn't involved at all, it could be Kelly. Like, Kelly's ceiling is there, but we still like Singletary more.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at it right now. The Chargers' offensive line has been a disaster with injuries. Losing Mike Pouncey for the season. Balaga's been banged up. Trey Turner's been banged up.
Yeah.
And, we don't know how these guys will operate with Tyrod because the one game sample size that we had did not throw the ball to the running backs. It was him, in the week opener against Cincinnati, right? Then we got to week 2 and Justin Herbert's been doing that a little bit more. So are the receiving numbers going to be there for him? Like, this Bills offense is awesome.
Right. By the way, why didn't they throw to the running backs? They were blocking a lot in that game. Not my observations, what I read for the Chargers game against the Buccaneers. So keep that in mind. All right, let's keep going here. Let's
not the Buccaneers. You mean last week?
Yeah. Why didn't the Chargers throw to the running backs in week 4? They were blocking.
Well, it's also because Eckler got hurt too. Who knows how that went down?
But sure. But also that. Okay. I have both Kelsey and Kittle. I got offered Michael Thomas. Which one should I give up? This is from Firefighter 1526. Michael Thomas, would you give up Kelsey or Kittle?
I don't think you can make a wrong choice because both are awesome. The thing that we saw, and this is an interesting scenario because you remember 2018, how great George Kittle was, and all of that production came without Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, it was no quarterbacks. Yep.
And CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins just fed Kittle the ball over and over and over again. And you hope Jimmy Garoppolo does that. But if that's the George Kittle you're getting, Kittle is going to be the best tight end. It's not going to be close. But if you're getting the Kittle that we saw last year, he's obviously awesome, but Kelsey would be better. So,
Kittle actually averaged more points per game than Kelsey last year. Basically tied, but like slightly.
Kelsey also didn't have his quarterback for 2.5 games, and you had the touchdowns way down for him.
Yeah. All right. So you're keeping Kelsey.
I would keep Kelsey.
Okay.
I am too.
I mean, again, I don't think you make a bad choice. That's the type of move you make. If you have one of those 2 tight ends, I don't know why you drafted them. Could be keeper league, but try and flip one for a great receiver.
D-Style 02. Should I trade DJ Chark for James Conner in a standard scoring 2 wide receiver, 2 flex league?
100%.
Yep.
All right.
I have a
Collective
question for you.
11.
I made a trade offer to somebody that we know. See what you would have done.
All right.
Giving up. Somebody has Zeke and Alvin Kamara and dog poop at wide receiver, and is looking to move one of those running backs. So I offered Chris Carson and Terry McLaurin for Kamara in half PPR.
Oh, you might lose that. I mean, I think it's a good for both sides.
They got rejected.
Yeah, he rejected.
Got rejected. If like,
What more would you want?
I don't know.
those are 2 like absolute must start every week guys.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. He's being a little stingy.
His name may be Richard Dave.
What? Dave, turn that down?
No, I don't know who Richard Dave. I don't know.
All right, let's go. Collective 11 says, I lost Eckler this week, PPR. Do I use my waiver ad on Justin Jackson or Dearness Johnson, dropping Jeff Wilson? Yeah, you can drop Jeff Wilson, but who do you guys like? He lost Eckler, so Jackson or Johnson?
I would prefer Johnson simply because, as the scenario we talked about on Tuesday, he's going to work in the best rushing offense in football to some capacity, whatever that is. We don't know. Could have more touches than Justin Jackson, could have a lot fewer touches than Justin Jackson. If something were to happen to Kareem Hunt, this kid could be a monster. If something happens to Josh Kelly, Justin Jackson could still be very good, but I just don't know where the ceiling is because I don't think he's going to be Eckler. Plus, Justin Jackson has a hard time staying healthy. Every time he's been on the field, he has an injury situation, and it's already played itself out once already this year. So I think there's a higher ceiling for Johnson in the long term. There may be a higher ceiling for Jackson in the short term, but I'm going to look ahead and see what Dearness Johnson can do.
Okay. Let's do a grade the trade from Julio. I traded Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake.
Julio?
Look, every time I say it, people are like, "I just said Julio." It's Jooleeoh. What it?
Oh, I thought it was like
no,
Julio.
It wasn't. I traded Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, and Chase Edmonds for Zeke and Ruggs. Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, and Chase Edmonds for Zeke and Ruggs. Pretty interesting.
See?
C minus.
Okay. All right. Z-Manface 76. If you have a good player sitting on your bench that you don't play, should you be willing to take less value for him in a trade? For example, Singletary for Jonnu Smith.
Value is relative. So yes, if you need a tight end, yes, I would get rid of Singletary if he's my RB4.
Right. I think, what sometimes happens is like, you're probably not going to get George Kittle for Devin Singletary. You're not going to get Darren Waller for Devin Singletary. So I would probably like to get Jonnu Smith and maybe one other thing in return if you can, because Singletary is more valuable given his position. But those guys are relatively on par, so it's not a bad deal at all.
Yeah, and also just think about Jamey. I think I share a team with Richard Dave. Like he put me in that league he put me in the league that you made him that trade offer in just so I could see the draft results for a podcast. Mm-hmm. So I actually have in my inbox, I have the Carson and McLaurin for Kamara and Latavius Murray. You didn't mention Latavius Murray.
Oh, I'm sorry. Latavius Murray too.
So I probably should have snuck in there and accepted it on Richard Dave's behalf before he got a chance. That would have been great. Should I drop Noah Fant for Robert Tonyan from Hard Flip?
So that's an interesting one because you have both guys not playing this week. So the upside play long term, I hope is still Fant, but if you want to take a chance that Noah Fant's going to be out for several weeks, then you pick up Tonyan.
Okay, I would look personally. There's no chance I would drop Noah Fant for Robert Tonyan.
But what if you don't have the ability to play Noah Fant for the next few weeks because he's out and you need a tight end in week 6?
I'll worry about it in week 6. I'm not dropping Noah Fant for Tonyan.
I would probably drop a lot of other guys, but if there's 5 people on the bench and you don't have anyone to drop, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is playing at such a high level right now. It's insane. From Big Tuna TV, Azer, what position would Heath Cummings play in kickball? I think he would play I don't think he'd want to play. So he'd probably play the position that gets
DH, right?
Assuming you can't play DH, I would say he'd play right field because nobody really hits
first
the
base.
field.
There's no need for a first baseman.
It's an active position. He wouldn't want to
You
play.
don't have to do anything in first base and kickball.
I think I played basketball with Heath once, and he's a pretty athletic guy. But I think he's got to be engaged. I don't think I think he just want to drink as opposed to play.
Yeah, you can drink in right field. That's no problem. By the way, is he more athletic than I am, Jamey?
Is he more? Probably.
Yeah, I would think so.
You're athletic though. You don't get credit for your athleticism.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, the funniest thing in CBS history is that Pete Prisco thinks he could cover me man to man. If I were a wide receiver and he were a cornerback.
So I have this conversation with Pete all the time. Pete would beat you up at the line of scrimmage.
Doesn't matter.
And that would be his only strength.
He'd never get his hands on me. I'm
Yeah,
too slippery. All right, should I pick up from CPRAET, however you want to pronounce that? Should I pick up Dalton Schultz or Damian Harris or Phillip Rivers? Hunter Henry is my tight end. It's a super flex league, and he has Roethlisberger and Cousins. So he's got Schultz, Damian Harris, Phillip Rivers. How would you prioritize them?
I think I would probably look at Harris first because as much as I love Dalton Schultz, you're helping yourself in another spot and still playing Hunter Henry, who's, got still a very high ceiling. But Rivers is a guy that can help. I just don't think Rivers is any good anymore.
No. What do you guys think about Damian Harris just in general? Do you think he's 15 carries, 1 or 2 catch? Do you basically think he's what Sony Michel has been in the past?
Yeah, I think he's a more talented running back, but the workload will be similar, but the touchdowns won't be as high because Cam Newton is the quarterback. So
we hope.
We hope. Yes.
I think this is going to be a very interesting week because I haven't seen the lines yet. I'm going to guess they're heavy favorite at home against the Broncos. And so
bold prediction.
They're probably a touchdown favorite at home. So
they started off -10.
Okay, so more than that. So what have we seen from them in the 2 games where they've been heavy home favorites against Miami in week 1 and against the Raiders in week 3?
Yeah, good
they
running.
Ran all over those 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had 17 carries, the most for a Patriots running back so far this year, in a road game at Arrowhead, that was competitive until the end, but they were still running him at the end. He's got a shot for, probably 15 carries on a week-to-week basis. And yes, the touchdowns may be hard to come by. Obviously, the passing down work is not going to be there for him because of James White. And Rex Burkhead, as we saw, still also had double digits in carries in that game.
That's a big factor. Yeah.
Huh?
That's a big factor that we probably downplayed a little bit, or just I didn't bring it up. But Burkhead did have 11 carries. So that can't
and I think Dave mentioned it, which is accurate. They were giving him, or maybe you did, they were giving him some chances at the goal line. So, he's going to be in a timeshare with, we know, a lot of running backs. As Heath likes to joke, there's 17 running backs in the Patriots. And Michel may be out just 3 games. He may be out for much longer than that. So there's that wild card to factor in also. But if everything that we heard in training camp, and we know we didn't get a chance to see in the preseason, was this guy looks the part. He's got a chance to be the guy. Michel wasn't there because he had the foot surgery. But I just think if you're telling me 15 plus carries, that's probably more work than Johnson and Jackson are going to get, unless Jackson just completely runs away with the Chargers dub.
Okay. All right. Let's catch up a little bit here. We're way behind on questions, so we'll do a rapid fire segment here for the next few minutes. I traded Will Fuller for Julian Edelman and Kerryon Johnson.
F.
No.
Should I start Edelman this week?
If you have to.
Yeah, well, you probably should have started Fuller this week. From Crazy Bayesian, rank these pickups. Dalton Schultz, Chenault, Higgins, Alshon. It's PPR. He doesn't need Schultz. He already has Kelsey and Robert Tonyan. But Schultz, Chenault, Higgins, Alshon.
I mean, that would be I'd start with Schultz, but you don't need Schultz, so don't pick him up. So pick up Higgins and just see what he becomes.
Okay. Does it make sense to pick up Schultz and then try to swing a big trade, though? Like trade Travis Kelce for Clyde Edwards-Helaire or something?
If you're set at wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, that might be the best. Like, just maybe get the most valuable player there. All right, from Blaze to the Mixon or Miles Sanders this week?
I'd play Sanders in PPR and Mixon in non-PPR, but I'm playing Mixon a little hesitantly because, we've seen Baltimore's defense not play great against the run, but we've also seen the Bengals rushing attack only look good for 1 week of the 4 in some similar matchups.
Okay.
Do you think the Steelers' rush defense is good?
Yes. Excellent.
It's looked good. They're fresh. They're going to be, rested coming off a bye week. So take that into account. And the offensive line is not great for the Eagles, but
Am I missing something? Do we not think that the Steelers' run defense is good?
No, but I mean, I also think Miles Sanders is really good.
Yeah, no, he
So
is.
I'm going to guess that Sanders has more receptions, even though Mixon is coming off a 6-catch game. But that's what you kind of hope for, is that his numbers in the passing game are better.
The running backs are averaging 2.33 yards per carry against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, this has not been rapid fire. From Jay Migley, I traded Antonio Gibson for Michael Gallup. I'm loaded at running back. Is there hope for Gallup?
Yes, there's hope, but I don't like that trade.
Okay. Start 2 of these 4. Mostert, Montgomery, Mike Davis, Josh Kelly, full PPR. Mostert, Montgomery, Mike Davis, Josh Kelly.
I mean, in Mostert plays, it's Mostert and Davis, but obviously Mostert has got to show you something in practice first. So, Davis and Montgomery are easy choices.
Yep.
Okay. From Chef Said NYC, Josh Kelly or Antonio Gibson, PPR?
Gibson.
And I think one thing that, I know this isn't a rapid fire, I'm sorry, but Washington was down Steven Sims, and they were going with Antonio Gandy Golden, and I think Dontrell Inman was either playing hurt or got hurt in the game. They finally started throwing to the running backs. First time on the season that they used J.D. McKissic and Gibson in the passing game, and you saw what the upside could be. And so the reports coming out of Washington was something that they were building towards. So that's what you got to hope for moving forward. Easy throws for Haskins, makes a lot of sense. And Gibson and McKissic that's their strength.
Sir Allen 987, full PPR. Add Debo Samuel, drop Jerry Judy.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to get some non-repeats here. King Grider. I need a tight end. Noah Fant is out. I have no IR spot available. Jimmy Graham is the best available. Are Le'Veon Bell, Debo Samuel, T.Y. Hilton droppable for Jimmy Graham?
T.Y.
Yeah, I guess T.Y., but, you're kind of handcuffing yourself here because we just don't know how long Fant's going to be out. So when you're in these type of situations, how many people are running to pick up Noah Fant? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
I would.
Yeah, I love Noah
Fant.
Fant.
I don't know how many people are running to pick up T.Y. Hilton if he has another bad game.
I guess if you told me that Noah Fant was definitely out 2 games, then I would not rush to pick him up. But I'm hoping he comes back in week 6. But it's wishful thinking, perhaps. I don't know. Trevor 08801. How much fab for Josh Kelly in a PPR league? I have Drake, Sanders, Dobbins, and Brian Hill. So he could use a running back. How much fab for Josh Kelly?
20% of your remaining budget.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 to 20.
I traded Alvin Kamara for Christian McCaffrey. Is that a bad trade?
Yes.
Yeah.
Start 1, flex 1, half PPR. Jamison Crowder, T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault.
Crowder for sure.
Yeah.
Even without Darnold?
I don't care. He's their short area
where's
target.
Joe Flacco going to go? He has no choice.
Yeah, all right. So
it's probably more of a Gase thing than it is a Darnold thing.
Could be a Crowder thing too. I mean, Crowder's
Could be
their
a Crowder
best.
thing, but it was also a Landry thing in Miami. So
and Shenault would be out there.
I would take Shenault this week over T. Higgins, but I'd rather have T. Higgins on my team.
Interesting. Kareem Hunt at the Colts or Chris Carson at the Vikings, half PPR?
I'd go with Kareem Hunt.
That Browns-Colts game is really interesting. Really interesting. Oh, speaking of interesting games.
Darius Leonard may be out.
That would be bad. Speaking of interesting games, Obviously, everybody can't wait for the Cowboys-Giants game, right? It's potentially a first-place battle. What time are the Eagles playing? They're playing at 1. So when they lose to the Steelers, that becomes a first-place battle, assuming Washington loses as well, and they will, right? They'll lose to the Rams. So we're going to stream, we're going to watch it with you on Twitch, the Lowe's Home Team Watch Party. It's the Giants and the Cowboys. Steve Weatherford representing Big Blue. DeMarcus Ware representing the Cowboys. They're coming on. It's going to be awesome. 4 p.m. Eastern. That would be the Lowe's Home Team Watch Party on Sunday. Giants Cowboys is the game. If you want to see what my face looks like when the Giants lose, probably, well, you never know. Richard Dave actually thinks the Giants might win this week. So come join us. It's going to be fun. Also, Thursday is usually 7 o'clock. We're changing it. 4 to 6 p.m. now on Thursdays. 2 hours of starter sit and any other fantasy questions you have. We'll see you at 4 o'clock. Home Runners says, Adam, what show are you watching in the background? I think you guys can probably take a guess what I'm watching, right?
Baseball?
I am watching baseball. I'm watching the Yankees and the Rays. It is 1-0 Rays. That is very upsetting to me. Hurts my heart. Gonna scroll down. Let's get some new ones. Should I try to trade Christian McCaffrey for Falcon Cook? Probably an autocorrect.
Yeah, I'll take Falcon Cook there.
Yeah. Probably Dalvin Cook, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Should I? Oh, yeah. What do you think, Jamey? McCaffrey or Cook?
I'd rather have Cook right now.
Yeah.
Chris Towers asked us. It's on the site for our top 5 rankings. I think.
I already talked about this. What was your top 5?
My top 5 was Alvin Kamara 1, Aaron Jones 2.
What?
Or no, Dalvin Cook 2.
What?
Where's Zeke?
Have you watched the Cowboys this year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
I think Aaron Jones was 3, Zeke was 4, and McCaffrey was 5.
I left McCaffrey out of my top 5, huh? That was probably a mistake. Depends when he's back. Yeah, I put Edwards-Helaire 5th. I guess I would have to take McCaffrey over Edwards-Helaire. Can I have a do-over on that? I got to call Chris, tell him to edit it.
You had Zeke first?
I had Zeke 1, Kamara 2, Cook, Jones, Edwards-Helaire.
Have you not watched Kamara?
I think Kamara's catches are going down when Thomas comes back. I'll take either one. But look, Zeke had, 8 catches? Zeke's very involved in the passing game. I think that's 6 of one, half dozen the other. And you got the Latavius Murray thing. It's pretty annoying. Okay, should I drop James
for him all season? He's been
James White?
No touchdowns.
Yeah, who's got more fantasy points? Like it's got to be pretty close, right?
Kamara does.
I'm gonna check. Should I drop James White for Latavius Murray? I have Alvin Kamara.
Drop James White for
Latavius Murray as the Alvin Kamara manager.
No, I'd rather have James White.
Yeah, I don't know about
Unless it's non-PPR. Non-PPR, I'll take Murray.
Le'Veon Bell for Nyheim Hines. No, you definitely want Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell for Nyheim Hines. You want Bell, yes.
Yeah. Should I trade, this is from Damian, should I trade Odell Beckham and Hunter Henry for Juju Smith-Schuster? I already have Ertz and Lockett. So should I trade Beckham and Henry for Juju?
Beckham and Harris for Juju?
Beckham and Hunter Henry.
Oh, Beckham. No, I'd rather have Beckham and Henry.
Okay, Alvin Kamara. How does he have that many more fantasy points than Ezekiel Elliott? He has like a crap load more fantasy points than Ezekiel Elliott. How is that possible? Wow. Really? Wow. Okay.
Didn't he just have a relatively bad game for him?
Yeah, because he didn't score. But he did have 8 catches. His bad game was 125 total yards and 8 catches. Kamara has 7 touchdowns this year. And Zeke has 4 touchdowns this year. Back to Twitch. Would you drop Fance for Schultz when you also have Darren Waller?
Drop Fant for Schultz when you also have Darren Waller. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. People are hoarding tight ends this year. Should I drop Big Ben for Teddy Bridgewater?
I'd rather play Big Ben this week.
Okay. Seacrest 020. I lost Eckler. Would you drop Dobbins for Johnson, Jackson, or Edmonds in PPR?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, this is the thing about these guys. Remember we had this conversation about, did you give up on Miles Sanders? Did you give up? I mean, Kamara's not the same guy because it was early in the season when he got his job. But Sanders is the one that you look at and say, did you give up on him before he became a thing? And he was doing a lot more than Dobbins is. His involvement in the passing game last year was much more, evident. But Dobbins is going to be one of those guys. Like, I just don't know what the Ravens do if they lose Mark Ingram. Like, I don't see them just, okay, J.K. Dobbins, here's 20 plus touches, because they like Gus Edwards.
Right. I want to see. I'm going to try to find this. It's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to look at how rostered Miles Sanders was when Jordan Howard got hurt last year. In the meantime, from RKim0026, should I trade Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Christian McCaffrey?
Depends on your record. If you have a positive record, I'd rather have McCaffrey.
Yeah, it's so tough because the reports are he's back next week, or out one more week. So could be back week 6. Is it all systems go? Or is it a week or two till he gets worked up? And we know what happened with Barkley last year. Remember, it was a slow recovery, and then all of a sudden he was awesome at the end of the year.
But he came back after 2 games. So
I thought it was 3, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I thought he only missed 2 games last year.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. But the Giants didn't have someone that they could just go to in Saquon's role when Saquon came back. Mike Davis can be involved for a few more weeks if they want to ease McCaffrey in. I still would rather have McCaffrey, don't get me wrong. But for a few weeks, Davis could be an all right option.
Yeah, he did miss 3 games. He missed 3 games. He said he re-injured his ankle too. So there's that. That's what Barkley said on HQ during Super Bowl week. All right, so what was the answer? CEH for McCaffrey. What would you do?
I think Ben said it best. If your record is, undefeated, 3-1, whatever the case may be, positive, then you try and swing the deal.
Should I drop the Rams defense for the Chiefs defense?
No, I like the Rams defense this week.
Should I use the number 1 waiver wire priority on Christian Kirk? No, you should not.
No.
Oh, there's a basketball
don't want
game.
Him on my team.
There's a basketball game tonight?
Tell Ben Gretsch to stop coming into our Twitter.
I didn't really. Yeah. Okay. Heat Lakers tonight. We want Choi Sauce wants to know our prediction for the Lakers game tonight.
Is that
Get out of here! Home run! Woo! Sorry.
Who hit it?
Si se puedo, whatever the Giancarlo Stanton. No, what does they say? Mazaskis probably knows the stupid home run call for Giancarlo Stanton. He is locked in, man.
Is Bam playing?
For the Yankees? I have no idea.
Bam is going to start. Dragic out. Heat win.
All right, I'll take the Lakers by 6.
Yeah, this is the backbreaker. The game 4 when you're down 2-1, you need the win so bad, and the better team they're going to win in 5.
Duncan
Robinson
Robinson hits 5 threes tonight.
Who?
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson? Okay.
You have no idea who that is, do you?
I know who get out of town. I know who Duncan Robinson is.
You said that like Ben answers an 80s trivia question.
No, I swear I know who Duncan Robinson is. He hits 3-pointers. He hit a bunch of them in that one game in the playoffs.
He's going to hit 5 tonight.
Ben, what is your favorite Van Halen song, given the fact that Eddie Van Halen passed away tonight?
Oh, R.I.P., but I don't know. What's name a couple famous songs.
I listened to just a bunch of the hits. Panama. He's got I forget the name of it. He's got a 12-minute guitar solo.
Eruption
is just absolutely amazing.
Well, they have Eruption, but that's not a 12-minute one. But yeah, they have some of the.
It was 12 minutes.
Eruption was?
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's he doesn't play it with a pick. He plays with his fingers on the frets, like it's freaking crazy. It's the coolest thing. As a crappy guitarist, I sit in awe of Van Halen.
We've got to get you to play guitar on Twitch one of these nights.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do it when I'm not on.
I don't think we need that at all, man. But sure. You know what? I'll play with Chris Towers, and I'm pretty sure I can crush Chris, like based on what he said on a previous Twitch stream. I think I'm like a lot better than Chris, so I'll do that. Kelly, Darrell Henderson, or Malcolm Brown at flex? Who you going with?
Whew. Well, What's the
Kelly.
score? Did it say?
Half PPR.
I'll go with Malcolm Brown. Well, that depends. If Akers is back, then it's easy. You go Kelly.
Sounds like Akers may be back.
He's expected to play. That's what we saw anyway. W. Reese, 27. Rest of season, Debo Samuel or T. Higgins?
Debo.
Higgins.
I'd like to talk a little bit about Twitch etiquette if we could. I understand I run behind. I'm probably like 5-10 minutes behind on these questions, and I'm sorry about that. If you want to repeat your question, that's fine. Repeat your question. If you repeat your question every like 10 or 15 seconds, it does kind of bug me a little bit. And I say that as a very appreciative person that you're sitting here on your Tuesday night, but it throws me off. So, space it out like a minute, at least a minute if you want to repeat your question. And we already, like the Beckham Hunt and Henry for Juju thing, we already answered it. So you can say every fourth question is that. All right. I have George Kittle. Should I trade Jonnu Smith for Deonte Johnson, half PPR?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to scroll down and catch up a little bit here. From Ma61187, I traded Miles Sanders and Boyd for Dalvin Cook in PPR. How did I do? Miles Sanders and Tyler Boyd.
Pretty
Miles
even
Sanders
deal.
and Boyd
For Dalvin Cook.
That's a fair trade.
Yeah, Boyd's probably a little underrated. I don't know. Like, he's got 7 or more catches in 3 straight games. Terrific stuff.
It's
or more
it's
points.
fun to watch this Bengals offense. I mean, you got 36 pass attempts per game for Joe Burrow so far, and I don't see that changing.
All right. From Deceased Glutes. That's basically us every football season. Half PPR, who do I sit or who do I start? WDIS. What do you think, Ben? Is that who do I start or who do I sit?
Who do I start? Yeah.
Okay. Jerick McKinnon, David Montgomery, Darrell Henderson, or Josh Kelly?
Who do you sit?
Well, who do I start? If Mostert's out, McKinnon is like
McKinnon's the top 12 running back.
Yep, it's McKinnon.
But if Mostert plays, is it McKinnon, Montgomery against the Bucs, Henderson against the football team, or Kelly against the Saints?
I might still go McKinnon.
Yeah.
All right. From 50-something. I play my buddy in week 6. He has Russell Wilson at quarterback. Should I block him? Is Wilson on bye week 6? Is that the deal?
He is.
Okay. Should I QB block him and pick up Justin Herbert, who plays the Jets in week 6?
I mean, you can, but there's a likelihood that Herbert's not starting.
Possibility.
Kirk Cousins has a good matchup that week. If Cousins is on the waiver wire, pick up him as a block.
Yeah, he's got the Falcons. Am I keeping Drake or am I trying to trade him? That's from DB157.
What are you getting for him at this point? That's the thing. It's like, he could still turn things around. This just feels very similar to almost like what happened to David Johnson last year, where he was struggling, then he got hurt, and then all of a sudden they make a change, and, David Johnson was never heard of again. Now, Drake's not hurt, at least as far as we know, with that chest injury, but it just feels like there's a change coming for this Cardinals offense after 2 straight struggling performances.
He has been cleared of injury concerns, so Kenyon Drake is good to go. And I guess I would just say I really don't think he was struggling that badly until this past week. Wasn't doing great. But
well, he's not involved in the passing game. I mean,
he's not. So
the thing that we
okay.
The thing that we loved about him was what he did as a dual threat running back last year when he was, such a huge part of this Cardinals offense. And now they basically just eliminated that. And so, this is everything like what Ben Gresh hates. This is a guy that's working between the 20s and not scoring touchdowns and not getting receptions.
It's terrible. Nancy, Pollo, Staparlo, John Carlo. Thank you guys. With the worst call ever. Let's see. Dalton Schultz or Justin Jackson, first waiver wire?
I would probably go with Schultz.
Blankenship or Gostkowski?
Rodrigo, he's hot.
Yeah. Who am I dropping? Christian Kirk, MVS, Latavius Murray, or Hines? I was about to say Hines Ward. Naeem Hines.
I would drop MVS. Nobody's going to pick him up in his bye week.
All right. Ben said Kirk. Jamie said MVS.
Drop them both, honestly.
Well, the thing about Kirk is, and obviously he's been bad, but, DeAndre Hopkins was banged up last week. Who knows if that's going to be an injury that lingers? And at some point, they got to stretch the field. And it's not Hopkins. He's not going to do that. It's not Fitzgerald. He's not going to do that. They don't play Isabella enough. He's not going to do that. Right now, Kirk looks like their best field stretcher. And so hopefully he gets more opportunities down the field and can start doing some things with it.
Should I start from Cali Cowboy? Should I start Justin Herbert or Nick Foles this week? 4 point per passing touchdown.
I would start Herbert.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andrea Buffalo. Andrea wants to know, should I drop Kenyon Drake to pick up Ronald Jones, PPR?
So it's like an 8-team league or a 10-team league where that's
Yeah.
something. I mean, I'd probably still hold on to Drake.
I wouldn't.
You know, we'll see if Fournette plays and what Ronald Jones does.
Yeah, I think Fournette don't play. That's my advice to you. I have a lot of Ronald Jones. Please don't play. From Pinto, should I trade Julio Jones and Devin Singletary for Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson? Julio and Singletary for Taylor and Jefferson.
Yes, because we don't know how long Julio's going to be out.
Yeah. Singletary, like, you look at Ronald Jones and Devin Singletary. I was going to ask you, would you trade Kenyon Drake for one of those guys? And both of them, when the other guys are healthy, well, when Fournette is healthy, nobody was even considering starting Ronald Jones, I don't think. When Zach Moss was healthy, Singletary was still kind of like a flex, involved, but very little red zone or green zone work. So more like, gosh, can he just get me like 80 total yards? That'd be great. So yeah, like, how would you rather have Kenyon Drake than those two guys? Do you think those two guys are players you should be looking to sell right now, Ronald Jones and Devin Singletary?
I would absolutely be selling Ronald Jones right now. Now, Singletary, it's a little bit of a different scenario because he's at least on par with the other guy in the backfield. Draft capital is relatively the same. Collegiate production, you could say Singletary was better, but the competition wasn't as good. So, they're in similar sort of boats, in terms of those two guys. If Leonard Fournette is Leonard Fournette, he's going to kick Ronald Jones off the field, but we just haven't seen that yet. So will that ever happen? I don't know. I just think that Singletary has a much better chance to lead his backfield than Ronald Jones does, given the competition for both guys. And now you have Keyshawn Vaughn, who we know that they invested in, maybe starting to pick up some momentum and play a little bit more.
Yeah. I really think Ronald Jones has done a pretty good job this year. He's had a solid year.
For sure.
Just that fumble was so frustrating. So,
and his drops have been bad too.
His drops were bad. Yeah, you're right. He dropped 3 balls. So he's not perfect, and he's got a coach who has a quick hook. Some more questions. Would you drop, Dougie 27, would you drop Robbie Anderson to pick up Deonte Johnson? All right, shallow league.
Not this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, okay. How much fab for Antonio Gibson in non-PPR?
50%. I mean,
60, 70%.
Yeah, get that guy.
Yep.
Okay, from Big Dog. Mostert has looked great so far when he played. Any concern when he comes back with Jerick McKinnon? How do you value Mostert going forward? It's a good question.
I'm going to guess the 49ers go back to being the 49ers where they, give both guys opportunities. McKinnon's workload will clearly go down, but he's not going to go away. So I think you're still looking at Mostert as a very safe number 2 running back, like he would have been if Tevin Coleman was there. And McKinnon's a potential flex like Coleman would have been if he was healthy.
From Hagfish, C323, Joe Mixon or Deonte Johnson, non-PPR this week. Mixon or Deonte Johnson?
Mixon.
From Waxier Gaming, lost Nick Chubb. Should I pick up Dearness Johnson or Damian Harris? Standard scoring.
Standard makes it easy to go with Harris for sure.
Harris.
Yeah. How much fab for Chenault? That's from Dark Phoenix. How much fab for Chenault?
The thing about Chenault is if he's still available, because he's right at the cusp of what we talk about. And, our site is different. Like I did the Fantasy Pros podcast, and they were making it sound like Chenault has no roster percentage. I'm guessing they use either Yahoo or ESPN. So, like, for us to be at the 60% threshold, he's either going to be rostered by the guys who are definitely going after him, or in those other leagues, not everybody's like clamoring for him. Because while he had a good game, he didn't have a, oh my God, I have to have this guy type of game. So I think we've always been kind of a little bit higher on Chenault than maybe the industry.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go crazy with Chenault. Like, he'd be a guy 5% or less that I'd be looking at. Every scenario is different, but just as a blanket statement, I think you don't have to go crazy for Chenault. Like, I know that's Heath's number 1 wide receiver. I would be shocked if most people are going. So somebody just posted in the.
What do you mean? Oh, his waiver wire wide receiver?
Huh?
He's number one waiver wire wide receiver?
Yeah, like I mean, I can't see Shenault if the targets stay the same. I can't see Shenault being better than T. Higgins. If you just tell me right now that the targets are going to be in the same category.
Well, he does run the ball a little bit. That helps. But this is something that's important to point out here. Gardner Minshew is spreading the ball around so much. You've got 6 players with 15 to 23 targets on the team. Cole.
Are the Bengals that far off?
What's that?
Are the Bengals that far off? Because they spread the ball around too.
Well, I'll check. Cole, Shenault, Conley, Eifert, Chark, James Robinson, and then Chris Thompson has 12. All right, let me see the Bengals. Same numbers here for Cincinnati. They've got Tyler Boyd and AJ Green have 34 and 33 targets, whereas nobody on the Jaguars has more than 23. Boyd and Green have more than 30. T. Higgins has 22. Drew Sample has 16. Mixon has 15. Bernard has 15. They've probably thrown a lot more passes. But it's very evenly distributed for the Jaguars. Like Keelan Cole, it might not come into play really, but if you want 8 PPR fantasy points, you don't want to take a 0, like you're nervous. Keelan Cole, Chris Conley, they're kind of getting that for you. And Shenault hasn't had more than 6 targets in a game. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that changes.
Shenault is like I'm hoping for more. Like I think that's what you're looking at it as what you look for him is like I'm hoping for more touches. I'm hoping for more targets. Yeah. I'm hoping for essentially what you're getting from T. Higgins the last 3 weeks. Now you say 22 targets. That's 3 weeks. He had no targets in week 1.
Right. All right, back to Twitch. Let's get some questions here. We got about 9 minutes left. From Go Canes 87. All right. Do I use my waiver wire on Robert Tonyan despite having Andrews and Ertz in Dynasty in PPR?
Probably not, but unless you want to try and make a trade. Like this is a scenario where I would be definitely trading Zach Ertz in Dynasty because you have a guy that you can obviously play for as long as he's going to be great in Travis Kelce. I don't think Robert Tonyan is going to end up being a great tight end over the course of several years, but for this year, he may be a borderline starter. So you can trade Zach Ertz if you are so inclined and somebody's willing to buy. You're selling him low, which is never a good thing, but he's still going to get a lot of targets and a lot of target opportunity with Dallas Goedert out for however long he's out.
Okay. From Rabsisms. Sorry if I missed the answer. How much fab would you spend on Le'Veon Bell?
10 to 15%.
That's it, huh?
So, Jamey, more or less than your other running backs, the top 3 running backs this week?
In the same range. I think the reason I would...
That's so bad.
Huh?
That's such an indictment of Bell.
Well, I mean, part of it is if he was dropped last week, then there's going to be more of a want to go get him. But we don't know if he's playing this week. And so, if you're looking at it, how long do you want to sit on Le'Veon Bell and waste your fab budget on a guy who just may not be that good?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Would you rather have the Chargers starting running back or the Jets starting running back? Forget about the talent. Which situation would you rather have? It's taking you this long to think about it?
No, because it's a tricky question because the Chargers always use 2 guys. The Jets don't. Well, the Jets don't. They don't when Frank Gore is the feature back. When Le'Veon Bell is the feature back, they do.
Okay, would you rather have the starting running back for the Browns or the starting running back for the Jets?
Okay, come on.
Well, I mean, what if Ernest Johnson in 2 weeks is the starter? Because
I don't know. I don't necessarily love playing the what if this guy gets hurt game because nobody who does that ever seems to play the what if this guy doesn't get hurt game. I'd much rather have Le'Veon Bell than Ernest Johnson because I'm not going to sit here and say Kareem Hunt's going to get hurt. What if Kareem Hunt gets hurt in 5 weeks and then Nick Chubb's back the next week?
Sure, can very well be the case.
Of course, I'd rather have Le'Veon Bell than Ernest Johnson. I think everybody would. If I don't know anything about Ernest Johnson. It's possible that he only got work because Kareem Hunt was nursing an injury. Ben brought that up.
Oh, wait, he already hurt. Oh, he's already hurt.
Who?
Kareem Hunt.
Well, he played. All right, Mr. B. Mike Davis and Jerry Judy for Devin Singletary and T.Y. Hilton. Would you make that trade? Give up Davis and Judy, get Singletary and Hilton.
You're basically giving up all that to get Devin Singletary because Mike Davis could be irrelevant in a week. So yes.
Yeah. By the way, Miles Sanders was rostered in 88% of leagues, and bad stuff happening to the Yankees tonight. He was rostered in 88% of leagues at the time of Jordan Howard's injury last year. All right, here's another one from Juice Man. Is Jerry Judy droppable?
Yes, I had a question from a good friend of the program. For those of you that listen to us for a long time, Michael Hercom. He asked me about dropping Jerry Judy for Tim Patrick, and I told him to do it.
Why?
Well, because one guy's being productive and one guy is not.
Tim Patrick? Okay. Okay.
He's a big body too.
At what point, like, do you expect Jerry Judy to all of a sudden like break out? He's a better talent.
I think it can happen anytime. I mean, like, Jerry Judy has a lot more targets, I think. I want to say. Not last week.
You got to look at the last 2 weeks. That's where you got to use the sample size.
Why would I use the 2 weeks when he had a different quarterback? Why wouldn't I use 2 weeks where he had
2 weeks that Cortland Sutton wasn't there?
Sure, but why would Cortland Sutton being gone hurt Jerry Judy?
Cortland Sutton would hurt Tim Patrick. He wasn't playing.
I understand, but Jerry Judy still had 8, 7, 9 targets the first 3 weeks, and maybe there's a connection with Drew Lock that he didn't have. I don't know. All right, fine. Trager, who would you rather have? If you're not
playing Tim Patrick, you'd rather have Jerry Judy. If you have to play one of these guys, you're playing Tim Patrick.
Who would you rather have?
I will have Patrick ranked higher than Jerry Judy this week. I would rather have Judy long term. So however you want to take that.
Okay, let's finish up here. Go rapid fire. Is Darrell Henderson still the man, or is it a crapshoot rest of season?
Crap shoot.
Yeah.
You could just said crap. It would have worked. PPR. Should I trade Terry McLaurin and Devin Singletary for Dalvin Cook and Devontae Parker? McLaurin and Singletary for Cook and Parker.
Yes, leave the Twitch stream. Go do it.
Yeah. You're shaking your head no, but you meant yes. Would you trade Aaron Jones and Lamar Jackson for Patrick Mahomes and Michael Thomas in PPR?
Wow. If you have the running back depth, yes.
Would you trade Travis Kelce for Ezekiel Elliott?
Yep.
Yes.
What to do with AJ Green?
He's going to be dropped probably soon if he has another bad game.
I have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Goff, Bridgewater are on waivers. Should I pick up Goff or Bridgewater? And Cam Newton's available. Should I pick up Cam?
I mean, if you carry 2 quarterbacks, then yes. I think you'd rather have Goff long-term than these other guys, but Bridgewater probably is better than all of them this week.
You rather have Goff than Cam?
I'd rather have Goff and Cam than everybody else.
Right. Yeah, Cam, you need to get Cam really might play this week, so get Cam. Should I drop Hunter Henry for Dalton Schultz?
Yep.
Yeah, probably so.
Would you trade Miles Sanders for Terry McLaurin? I also have Dalvin Cook, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Mike Davis. So good running backs, but Davis not for long. So would you trade Sanders for McLaurin?
I mean, it's a fair deal. I mean, McLaurin has just been matchup proof. It's amazing. So if you need the receiver help, then yes, but you're giving up on a pretty good running back.
This is a good question from Z Wed. Should I drop Renfro and pick up Scotty Miller?
I would rather play Miller this week, but it's so close. I mean, you're talking about a Bears defense that hasn't allowed a touchdown to a receiver yet. And, Darren Waller's going to get his number. So we'll see.
Okay. And a couple more. Who's a better pickup PPR? Justin Jackson or Dearness Johnson?
I would take Dearness Johnson, but it's so
Johnson.
close.
All right. How about Dearness Johnson or Damian Harris? Standard scoring.
Damian Harris.
Should I drop Malcolm Brown or Cole Beasley for Damian Harris, Dearness Johnson, or Justin Jackson? Malcolm Brown and Beasley, all 3 running backs are out there. What do you do?
I would probably drop Beasley just in case Malcolm Brown still is the starting running back for the Rams. But I would probably try and drop both and pick up the other 2 guys if you could.
Other 2 being Harris and Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Last question. Should I trade Kareem Hunt and Josh Jacobs for Ezekiel Elliott in PPR.
No.
No, you should not. That is giving up too much. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Been fun spending this hour with you here on this Tuesday night. We're back Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 4 to 6, 2 hours of your questions. Start or sit right here on Twitch. Tell your friends. Let's have a big Twitch party Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. And then an even bigger party, the home team watch party presented by Lowe's. Giants, Cowboys, Steve Weatherford, DeMarcus Ware. They're joining us. We have the best time. We learned a lot about football from Damian Williams and Danny Woodhead this past week, and a lot about wrestling as well. So these are the types of things you learn about on our Twitch stream on Sunday. So we'll see you on Thursday, 4 to 6, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. For Jamey and Ben, I am Adam. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you on Thursday.